Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a different kind of video for you. I've had a bunch of people suggest, hey Spuds, why don't you do some reaction videos? So today we're going to look at the Bungie Showcase that aired on Tuesday this week, and we're going to see what it's about. Now, admittedly, I have already seen it. I watched it live. I couldn't help myself. I apologize, but you know, we'll get through this together. We'll have some fun. I have thoughts. We'll see what's going on. As I got thinking about this video, I thought, hey, you know, maybe this would have been better done live. So if you think that this would have been better if we had live streamed this reaction and done it all together as a group, leave a comment down below. Hey, Spuds, do this live next time. So let's sit back, relax, and let's get to the show. And here we go.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Like many of you, I've been playing games as long as I can remember. They're a core part of what makes me who I am. I believe there's this deeply rooted, often unstated mission of games to keep adventure alive. In 2014, Bungie set out to start a new adventure. Heroes awakened on a desolate planet. A silent god set in our sky. And it wouldn't be long before an ancient enemy, shrouded in darkness, showed up at humanity's door to destroy us. Over the years, our heroes would shape a story far greater than anything we could have imagined. Players would explore deep into the depths of Venus, hunting a machine god that controlled time itself. They'd invent ways to combine their mythic weaponry.
I really wish I could have done this
in
Destiny 1.
to stand alone against monsters that took others, an entire elite squad. They'd race alongside their friends far into the early morning in the halls of an ancient
friends.
city.
I love you
only
guys.
A select few emerged victorious at dawn, clutching the heart of a dragon.
That's right.
But most importantly, they'd bring their friends and their family into this world, and together meet new faces on this adventure who would become lifelong companions. Now, together, we approach the final shape.
Dun dun dun!
We're about to embark on the last expedition of Destiny's first saga. So let's be clear about the stakes. In the final shape, you will go inside the Traveler. The journey will be difficult. And what awaits you on the other side of this trek is nothing less than the deadliest entity we have ever faced. There will be no...
You know, I want to take just a second and say, you know, I'm really sad that Joe shaved off his mustache. He, you know, he did that Twitter video recently, and he should have kept the mustache. That's all I'm saying.
Nothing less than the deadliest entity we have ever faced. There will be no open betas. There aren't going to be any guides on the internet telling you...
There won't be any guides until Aztecross plays this game.
...how to handle what's to come. Whether you've been with us from the beginning,
that guy is prolific in making to-dos,
or looking at Destiny for the first time, anybody who shows up on launch day is going to be greeted with this same uncharted world, a vacuum-sealed experience begging for you to be the first person to peel it open. So today is your invitation to go forth and adventure.
Yay! I get to adventure now. Hooray! Aww. I like the...
After all these years, we never talked about it.
Yeah, I like this look back before looking forward. It's pretty great.
Why you were chosen.
Oh, do we get to go flying? I hope we get to fly. Just jump off of things and just fly around. Like Anthem, but, you know, cool Destiny stuff.
The truth is, I didn't know then. It was just a feeling.
Jump puzzles will always be the death of me. Seriously.
But I know now.
I'm so thankful for Strand.
After all we've seen,
Cade! Woo!
all we've lost, this fight might be our last.
Our last one.
So
No.
I'm asking you, one last time,
So gross.
to rise.
For Frodo. That's what that here. That's what here, this. For Frodo. Ah! The heart of the
This is a
traveler.
momentous time in Destiny history. We've been building to this moment for the last 10 years.
The final shape is the conclusion to that journey. This is a moment in gaming that, as a developer, you just don't get very often.
Guardians and allies are fighting the biggest threat that the universe has ever seen in this big culmination of the Light and Darkness saga.
When we were thinking of what the final shape could be, it had to be a lot of different things. It needs to pay off this epic confrontation
Yeah,
with
it
the
does.
witness that we've been setting
Big-
up for
big
years.
time.
It has to bring you closer to your allies in the Vanguard. It has to be
Does
this
it?
place that like makes you feel nostalgic for the entire journey you've been on.
When we
They're
were
going for their
resurrected
in-game
by Ghost
moment, for
at
sure.
the very beginning of this story, we didn't know why, but it was for this. The Traveler is asking us for help, and it's our responsibility to protect every living thing in the universe from what the Witness intends to do.
I mean, to be fair, isn't it true that the Traveler has always been asking for our help? Like, that was the point from the beginning. The beginning was, hey guys, you're resurrected now. This is your job to do. Please help protect the Traveler from the darkness. And then it's evolved into this huge conflict between the Traveler and the Witness, but it was always, your job now is to protect the Traveler. So the Traveler's not just now asking for our help, it's always been asking for our help.
When we first start the final shape, we are finally able to go through the portal that the Witness opened in the Traveler at the end of Lightfall.
Inside is the
Finally.
pale heart of the Traveler. That is the stage for our showdown with the Witness.
The Witness has the darkness. It has always had a connection to it. The pale heart of the Traveler is what it's trying to use to gain connection to the light. So with both, it can enact its final shape.
Oh, I'm gonna have to
The
look and see
Witness
if there's
looks
any
around and sees a
more
lack of
references
purpose,
to the
no
pale
meaning.
heart.
It wants to fix all that. So it's trying to put the universe into this frozen perfection where everything's just exactly how it thinks it's supposed to be. That is the final shape.
If we're going to defeat the Witness, it's going to take everyone. Failure is not an option.
We're gonna need the Vanguard,
But it's
all of
okay,
our
because then your
allies,
ghost will res
and
you.
all the Guardians to rally together and be brave in the face of oblivion.
In the final shape, we're going to answer questions at the grandest scale. But what I find really interesting is that it's also a very personal journey where we deepen our relationships with these characters that we've known for so long. Zavala, Ikora, our ghost, get to reconnect with Cade 6. So, like, while there's this great conflict and everything going on around us and stakes of just unimaginable heights, it's still at the end a story told around campfires by a bunch of companions who have been fighting together for hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years.
In the final shape,
Aw.
we're going through the portal that
The
the
old
Witness has
tower.
opened up. to confront it and stop the final shape.
Of course, it's all covered in grass and
Inside the
whatnot,
Traveler
but-
is just infinite, vast, unknowable. And we're landing on the Pale Heart, which is a fraction of really what is inside the Traveler.
The Pale Heart is weird. It's a little strange. It makes you feel a bit uncomfortable. And it is also just
Oh, it's
so
one of
cool
those,
and artistic in
like,
the best way.
optical illusions, where it's like the spiral staircase that goes in
The Witness
800 different
entered
directions.
well ahead of any Guardians. And so it's had time to kind of shape what's there. When our Guardian enters, the rest of the Pale Heart starts getting shaped also around what we've experienced.
This
Is
is
your
the
robot in there?
Traveler recreating the world in front of you as it saw on your journey.
One of the most memorable locales from Destiny's past is the D1 Tower.
Yeah, it is.
It's really a labor of love from the Destiny team. The final shape
all-
means so much to everyone who's building it, and I think players are really going to be able to see that.
The Pale Heart is our very first linear destination that we've ever done. I would love it if players felt that they began their journey in a place of safety and feel it escalate in danger.
What is a
in
linear
surrealness,
destination?
because there is this beautiful evolution of the space.
They
Does it mean,
see
like, it
things
changes
that are more and more
progressively? You
wrong
have
as they
a
begin to go
end
towards
point?
the Witness's monolith. It's kind of this omnipresent,
must be.
foreboding thing off in the distance.
The weirdest things happen as you get closer to the monolith in the form of reshaping. Kind of like deconstructing things and putting them back together just wrong.
The sense of scale you get out there, like as you're exploring these spaces and you're jumping on these reshaped cuboids of Earth, you feel tiny as a Guardian. You feel alone. You feel like you are not
Face.
the force to be reckoned with that you have been. You're not the God Slayer right now. You're just this little person jumping from these massive pieces to massive pieces.
I would just like to say that I've never been the God Killer. I've always just been that Guardian that's like, hey guys, I'm getting blamed for all the things that you're doing. Can you please, like, stop killing Crota and Oryx and Savathun and all the other, like, hive gods? Because, like, they're getting mad at me. But, you know, whatever.
One of the things that we really tried to also capture is that the Witness keeps throwing everything it has at you. And so you're going to fight these new enemies, the
Oh,
Subjugators.
new enemies.
Subjugators are the new unit
look
you're going
like-
to be facing in the final shape.
Oh, they're like Ralk, but with Strand?
They have an enhanced power set. They're performing stasis
And
powers
stasis.
and strand powers to face the Guardian.
Got
They're
it.
in support of all the other enemies you're fighting too.
They bring something
They look
entirely
very
new
much
to the
like
battlefield,
Ralk.
which is kind of this element of control.
They're back there pinging away with stasis abilities, throwing crystals
Honestly, I
at
love
you,
it.
freezing you in place, tangling you up.
So basically, it's the Hive Guardians, but with
We're
darkness
focusing you
powers fighting
on
us.
The campaign and only the campaign.
Yeah, okay.
It's the most important thing in the universe at that moment. You have to stop the final shape from happening.
And
How did, while I'm thinking about this, sorry, how did the Witness figure out Strand? Because I don't know, it was always promoted to us that, like, we discovered Strand. We figured out how this worked. And I always thought it was weird that some of the new Cabal have the Strand shields, but okay, whatever. But how does the Witnesses people have Strand? I need lore. I need lore, people, please.
that we do need the help with our allies. And so we're going to make sure that the core Vanguard team gets back together. Zavala and Ikora and Cade.
The campaign is just the start of the Pale Heart. After you've reached the monolith and finished the campaign, We open up the entire destination,
Oh,
and so
okay.
the entire Pale Heart is going to react to you and what you are doing.
So like there's a path to go through, and then once you complete the campaign,
The
there's a
campaign,
lot
the final
of
shape,
patrol
doesn't
area.
really end with
That
the
seems
final
cool.
mission. The raids are where you defeat like the big bosses. So it's only natural that when you are going to confront the witness, you're going to do that in the raid.
Oh,
But
raid
that
boss
might not
confirmed.
be
It's
enough.
the witness.
This is a moment where we need to rally all guardians to be able to overcome the final shape and the witness.
Oh, so is the raid? Oh, that'd be really cool. Is the raid gonna be the witness's monolith? That'd be really cool.
In the final
if it's
shape,
just
we
storming
are
that
inside
monolith.
the Traveler, very close to this energy. This allows us to have new supers, Arc, Solar, Void.
We
Ooh,
want
new
to
supers.
create something that turns you into an offensive powerhouse,
But
but also can benefit
only
your allies
light
in a support
supers.
capacity. There is this thread of team play and like working with your friends to overcome the odds. The Warlock Super is this ultimate expression of solar energy coursing through your Guardian. This Solar Warlock Super is a callback to Radiance from D1.
Other than Golden Gun, this is the only other first-person super in Destiny right now. Your melee's like all these projectiles going off, doubling the amount of projectiles. Your grenade almost being
So
sentient as it searches around, and then it hits a character and bounces
Oh, that's
off and
really
goes to
cool.
another
So
one.
instead
And
of
you're
throwing
so
a ton of
overflowing
grenades, you just
with
throw
this
one
energy
grenade that
you're
like
also
bing, bing,
giving
bing,
it to
bing,
your
bing.
allies, allowing
Nice.
them to have their solar weapons supercharged, applying Scorch when they're
Oh,
shooting.
The
nice.
new Solar Warlock aspect. When I cast my Rift, it is going to create this little solar soul that when it sees an enemy, it launches part of itself out and hits the enemy and explodes and scorches them.
It just feels very alive.
You know, when I watched this live, I got really, I got thinking about it that this didn't, or I guess my first walkthrough of this, it felt like this was going to just be Radiance from D1 without the self-res. I guess I misunderstood what was going on, but it's really cool that like you throw your grenade and the grenade kind of goes around and hits people. Like, I don't know, that's kind of cool. Instead of you just like spamming a ton of grenades, because I was like, isn't that the functionality of Sunbracers? So I'm really glad that they didn't like make an exotic just lame now.
Twilight Arsenal. It's a layered super.
This is the only ranged one-off offensive super for Titans in the game. The Titan jumps up into the air, summons this giant void axe, throws it, summons another one, throws it, summons another one, looks at a different group of enemies, throws it.
What?
And when these axes fly through the air, they stick into the ground or an enemy, do their void gravity thing where they suck a bunch of energy and enemies in and then explode. But that doesn't destroy the axe. The axe sticks around. And you and your allies can go and pick up that axe and start wailing
That's just
on
going to be
enemies with it.
intense.
This super is insane to me.
The Void
Like, can you imagine that in Trials? Just poof, and then all three of the other team is running at you with these axes, or your whole team running at people with axes. That's going to be intense.
I press and hold my grenade button to consume my grenade and turn it into the shield. The more damage it takes, the more it charges up, and then I can release that, and it creates this blast that deals massive damage.
I always like this gameplay of the Titan being the
Arc
front
Super.
line
Arc
that you
is all
can't
about
break
finding
through.
the shortest distance between 2 points. The hunter kind of rears back, takes this knife and throws it across the world, and then is able to blink to its position, do the slash that just decimates anyone nearby.
One really great thing
Oh,
about
I really
that is
like
not
that.
just you do it once, but you're able to do it
Like,
3
like,
times.
dang.
Along with devastating
3
attacks
times?
each time you
Oh
do
my
it.
gosh.
The hunter has an aspect. We take our staff, we twirl it in the air, which propels us upward. It creates this burst, which amplifies you and
Helicopter.
any allies near you.
It almost makes it feel like you're playing a fighting game, right? Like these combos that
Oh,
you're
nice.
chaining together to do these different moves. It like takes that sandbox to the next level.
The more aspects we have, the more capable we are to do that.
It feels like you're like riding the lightning, you know? Like that instantaneous tiniest, like.
That was good, but I think it's more like.
Of course.
I like it.
I really like that idea of being able to throw this knife and just blink to a different place and just do a ton of damage.
All sorts of goodness. We've got
I always love just
exotics. We've got
jumping
legendaries,
into a
we've
group
got
of
perks.
dudes
We're
and just
always picking up stuff. We're always playing with stuff that we think is like really interesting or taking inspiration. We have Tessellation, which is this exotic pyramid fusion rifle. It has the really intriguing property of adapting your Guardian's
I think it
current
looks really
damage
good
type.
though.
This will be the first time that you can run a weapon that can adapt to be strand or stasis in the energy slot. So you'll be able to run an entirely strand or entirely stasis loadout. Tessellation has the additional property that you can special reload to reshape your grenade and suck it into the weapon, and then fire out a super destructive single projectile.
What?
It's a really special weapon.
What's the one
Oh my gosh, I
specific
need that.
exotic that I can make
I need
that's,
that
like,
fusion rifle.
really zany that you would like right now?
What if Golden Gun was a sniper rifle?
What if you could harness the might of the Traveler? You know, we had a moment where we saw that Traveler beam cutscene. I know people on Weapons went, I kind of want that. You're like, that is incredibly dope.
No way.
So we've got this opportunity to bring back these iconic
Traveler
Destiny 1
trace
weapons,
rifle.
but really turn it into something that feels unique in Destiny 2.
We have to bring
that
Kvotov
Dragon's Breath?
into the fold.
The Red Death exotic pulse rifle.
Red
And
Death?
Dragon's Breath.
Yes, it
Burn
is
the world,
Dragon's
burn it
Breath.
all.
I
In
loved
the
that
final
rocket
shape,
launcher.
We have new weapon subfamilies coming, broadening what existing weapons can be.
Really like bordering on exotic functionality. So for example, we've got a rocket pistol sidearm subfamily. We always liked the
Rocket
special ammo
pistol?
sidearms. This fires tiny, slow-moving rockets. They hit very hard, do a bit of AoE damage.
But they
They
track?
have a mixture of regular weapon and
Oh
rocket
my
launcher
gosh.
stats. We're also doing a new support weapon subfamily.
The support frame auto rifle is a type of legendary auto rifle. It'll let you switch seamlessly from firing at enemies to healing your allies. I'm really excited to bring it to dungeons and keep my team alive, honestly.
That's cool, but like,
Weapons team
what
is
about
always
Lumina?
coming up with new ideas.
That's
We've
what
got
Lumina
a ton
does.
of new cool stuff coming over the next few years, and some new.
Now they're
really
giving it to a
wild
legendary?
ideas,
That-
which we're pretty excited about.
That doesn't seem cool.
Come on, take a load off. You've got a lot to
Cade.
cover. This place is only big enough for one dashing hero type, and that's me, so... I'm back!
Yay!
Hey, you
Cade
two,
is back.
Give me a sec. I was magnificent.
Ya
This is
boy.
great. Anyone want a hug? Get your rock off my map. Worst case scenario, you die. But who knows? Maybe you won't.
Like, it's even more perfect that Nathan Fillion is back to voice Cade. Like, it's perfect match. I love it.
Well, better get back to it.
In this moment where we're driving to the end of the Light and Darkness saga, it's great to see Cade like return to this world at this moment with all this change about to culminate with this confrontation with the long-standing enemy, the Witness.
Cade is the quintessential hunter. His presence casts such a long shadow over the story of Destiny, whether it was when he was alive or when he was dead.
What Cade goes through
So sad that
in
he
this
died.
journey, how he serves as a catalyst for the other characters, the events that are uncovered to have brought
Teaser
him
for a
back. This is
cutscene.
how the story had to end. There was no end to the Light and Darkness saga that didn't have Cade here alongside his friends to finish the job.
Once we started digging into the nature of the Pale Heart, I think that crystallized Cade's role as a guide. Cade is Virgil, and he's our guide through this other place. Cade is the one who is the most appropriate person to be the guide, because that's his job. That's always been his job.
Absolutely.
It just feels so natural.
I miss
for
my
Nathan
Vanguard.
to be back in the booth. It felt amazing to just see him slip back into the role, like, without missing a beat.
Right, instantly.
In the flesh, or metal, as it were.
Cade's the glue that's always held Zavala and Ikora together. Having him back puts them in a position of questioning where they've been and what they've done without him.
You think about the journey that Zavala's been on and how he's been taken down this dark path, and you think about the weight that's been on Ikora, having to hold the Vanguard together, having Cade's voice of levity and brightness that he brings to that group. I think it's going to be great for them.
Well, at least we have each other.
We want people to take away that sense of reunion and that idea of like the gang being back together for this moment.
The gang's back together.
I'm here now.
Let's go.
Wherever the hell here is.
It's fair. I mean, like, I'm sorry, but the story looks like it's really gonna go to a crazy place.
The witness
Oh, this is
poses
the
a dire threat. And the Witch Queen holds the answers we seek.
So I'm not gonna lie, I
if we
logged in
contend
yesterday
with
and
her
started
sister,
playing this season.
Zivu Araf. It rests with me.
And I really love the opening to this story.
Do not be afraid.
Big scary Eris. Changing shape.
You now wield hive magic and have entwined it with your light. Assault the Spire Guardian and open the way to our tides.
I really like that grenade launcher.
No fear.
I like that there's like no reload at all. It's just boom,
Whispers.
boom, boom, boom.
And they do whisper. Fight in my name, Guardian. Every opponent you defeat strengthens me.
So like, did we become Hive where like Eris is our worm and we have to feed her with our tithes? Like we have to kill in order for Eris to get stronger? That's kind of how it feels, right?
To be Hive.
That like, we're Hive now and she's our worm. That
You are deserving of the greatest death I can bestow.
the Hive became Guardians and now the Guardians became Hive. That's what this season is.
The Season of the Witch is our opportunity as players. We've been annihilating and breaking Hive spells, and now we finally get to cast them.
At the end of Season of the Deep, we learn that Savathun has the key to getting into the portal that we need to go into. That means we have to go find Imaru, her ghost. Imaru's like, not so fast. We've got a bigger problem first.
Not so fast.
And that bigger problem's name is Zivu Araf. If we fight her, she only gets stronger. Eris has an idea. It's a really
good
It's
idea.
a wild ass idea, yeah. She determines like, well, the best way to fight fire is with fire. We are channeling all of that energy that we're creating by going through, by eliminating enemies, and we're tithing to our friend Eris.
Bring me your tithes.
I really like the idea that this season is a lot of the Vanguard was like, we don't know what to do. And Eris is like, I got this, don't worry. And they just went, this is a crazy flippin' idea, but you're absolutely right. You go off on it, please.
What does that mean for the characters and the player to kind of like be like Savathun? And that's where we went down the path of having Hive Eris. We wanted to extend that magical fantasy into the player then. That ability to have overwhelming magical power, that risk and reward into all of our activities and systems experiences. And so that's what led us to come up with things like Deck of Whispers. It's this magical deck of cards that creates amazing synergies with your build-craft meta and with buffs and the activities.
They can then choose these cards at will, whichever ones they want, and then that really leans into the build crafting.
You actually are getting cards that you can then use to place on the battlefield and change the way you play.
I'm such a sucker for deck building. Like being able to like bring that element into Destiny gameplay has just been like, oh, chess.
Yeah,
it's really
super
fun.
So we've got two brand new seasonal activities coming with Season of the Witch. We've got Altars of Summoning and Savathun's Spire.
Savathun's Spire is our new 3-player offensive. You're doing a lot more with the Lucent Hive magic, but it's got a high amount of combatant density. It's got additional random encounters that you can come across.
The Witch's Spire itself, Savathun's Spire, was like her reliquary for all these different magical experiments as she was learning the light. You're there in order to learn as much as you can in order to become a master spellcaster, right? To become like Savathun.
They're doing a lot with a
The altar
lot of
summoning
the
section
light
is really exciting
elements.
because you can spend like 20
really-
minutes in it or you can spend 2 hours in it.
Really
It's
like
a
it. I feel
three-player
like it's been a
experience
lot
that you
of
can
like the
hop in and
darkness,
hop
but
out
now
of.
it's
As you're
like
going through this
getting back in the
activity,
light.
You're filling the tithing bucket. As that tithing bucket is filled up, you'll get progressively more rewards. And then finally at the end, it'll cash out and you'll get a whole mess of rewards.
We really wanted to make sure that
two
there was a
blues and a
home
token,
for
right?
any exotic mission content coming in seasons after the year has passed. And so we developed what we're calling the exotic mission rotator.
Right away, we're getting Presage, Vox Obscura, and Operation Seraph Shield.
freaking love that
most fun
Presage is
content
back.
the team has making. It's some of the content the fans and players of Destiny love the most. The most exciting thing, outside of just the missions themselves, is that every time we put a mission inside of that rotator, the exotic that comes alongside of it will become craftable.
Boom. But we need Hawkmoon. We need Hawkmoon in there.
With Season of the Witch, we have a brand new Vex lo-fi PvP map coming. It's really exciting. It's got a bunch of really tight gameplay experiences. We wanted to make sure that we focus the combat a little bit more. With the new Vex network map, we really wanted to make sure we hit is like, hey, you're shoulder to shoulder more often. There's not as much deep sight lines that you're interacting with. And a lot of the flow of the map is actually built around this like kind of central pillar of the Vex network that you're orienting around.
And there's also some modes coming too, right?
We've got a new PvP game mode coming that's all about relics. It's about multiple relics, so it's not just one like the Scorch game mode from the past. So we've got the shield coming from Vault of
Like
Glass. We've got the spear
this game mode is
back
just
from
going to be
Season of the Risen.
wacky.
And
We've got the scythe from Season
That's
of
all there is to
Yeah,
it.
so
It's
you're
just
gonna
going to be
be breaking
wacky.
Guardians with that thing.
I hope
It's a
like
lot
it's
more
in the same
tactical gameplay.
rotator that Scorched
It's all
is.
about running around the map.
I don't know that I would
claiming
play
these
this
relic
week to week.
dispensers and then grabbing them in order to push for victory.
Or like enjoy being forced to play it or something like that.
The words in my throat are the weapon in my fist.
We were feeling pretty Hivey this season, obviously. There's something in the air. And so when thinking about like what's a good raid reprisal that would really suit this very Hivey season, there's
it's
only one
Crota.
answer.
I have seen what the Hive call a god.
Like, I'm excited for this raid to be back. I know there's a lot of people that were really hoping it wasn't, but like, this was the only raid that like I ever really got into in D1. I never finished it, but I'm kind of excited that it's back, and I'm ready to get into it with people. That's for sure.
Only a true weapon of the light can stop his wrath.
I will not be in the world's first raid race, that's for sure. But, ooh, that is a really cool looking ring for the raid. I like that.
Heading into the final shape, we really want to rally all Guardians at the end of the Light and Darkness saga. We want to reduce those power barriers as well as catch people up on key story beats and make sure that they have a really great and easy time connecting with other players. In
Because
the
we have a
final
hard
shape,
time doing
we're
that?
trying to find ways to make power more simple and easy to understand and also lowering the barrier to entry.
It's going to
Maybe
make
just
it
don't
easier for
have
players
it?
who have
I don't
not
know.
been able to jump into game easily because they were held back by the challenges in grinding for the power levels that are required by these different activities.
One of the
I don't
major
know.
changes
Power
that's
level
going to
is
be
just
happening
so,
starting with the final
um,
shape is there are going to be a certain number of activities that are going
just
to
there.
be power fixed. So it doesn't matter kind of what power level you are going into it, you're always going to be able to approach it. There's still going to be tiers of difficulty that you can do, things that are just meant to be experienced a certain way.
Things like Nightfall strikes that will still have power enabled, and that's where we're really going to focus the whole power climb.
The raids, the contest modes that everybody loves to engage with, that experience is fundamentally going to be staying the same.
I'm excited for this because
See, why can't like just power go away and then they just like make scales of difficulty? Like, oh, I want to go do this master, legend, whatever difficulty, but not like make me grind to make a number bigger before I can go to the harder content. I don't know. Just, it is what it is.
there will be a lot more clarity for players in terms of understanding the
I just don't know why
difficulty of
power
things,
is
where they sit
still
now
a
in the
thing.
spectrum.
It
One way that
seems-
we're trying to do that is making it
Seems
easier
just there.
for new players to engage with you. So we're introducing something that we're calling Fire Team Power.
You can actually bring your friends along to play any dungeons and raids in the game without having to wait them to be at a certain power level.
See,
The
now that's
person with the
even
highest
more
power
like-
in your fire team.
Why
is
does
actually
power
going
matter?
to bring all the others close to their power level, which means that there's no barriers really for any other guardian to join you in this high level content.
When it's combined with Fire Team Finder, it also allows you to find strangers, people you've never played with before, and have that same experience. That's all regardless of the power level of you and the rest of the people in your fire team.
Fire Team Finder is the new feature that's coming in Season 23, aimed at helping connect and find other people to complete the best and most aspirational
In-game
content
LFG,
in
nice.
Destiny. We have a tag system that allows players to be able to say, well, this is my play style. I'm really chill. I'm anti-sweat. I'm just
Actually,
really
that's
here to
really
have fun
cool.
with
I like
me."
I like that you could say,
Tags really
I am
allows
blah, blah, blah,
players
blah, blah.
to show a little bit more personality, show a little bit more about what they're about. I think what's really great about
Nice.
it is with this launch, we're also looking at including inclusion tags.
As an example, one of the inclusion tags that we have are for colorblind players. Hopefully, the inclusion tags will bring players closer
That's
to
really
finding
cool.
their community and even closer to the people that they're playing with. So once a
But I
listing
wonder,
goes live,
wonder
players
how
will be
much
put
of that
into a
will become
listing lobby where
exclusionary
players
too.
can
Like,
gather, they can
oh, well, we don't
communicate
want
with each
to
other.
match with
so
that-
we wanted
that
to make
kind
it
of
as
person. I
convenient
don't know,
and
that
as easy
seems-
as possible for players to not just sit and stare at a screen for a long time while their listing actually fills up.
As a gamer
Seems like
who's
it could be
typically
bad,
more
but
solo,
I
I'm
understand
especially
how it
excited about
helps
this because it
connect
really
people.
is about helping reduce that anxiety and burden that comes with trying to make a new connection.
Golgoroth's not going to survive that
The
fight.
feature coming out today that I'm incredibly excited about is Timeline Reflections. Essentially what we have done is we've went back to previous expansions and pulled out missions
Yes.
that we felt really represent key narrative beats within our
You know, I've been wondering about a feature like this ever since they chose to sunset the Red War and the Forsaken campaigns. Like, those are so important for the story, for the narrative of Destiny, to understand where you're going. Because, like, I can log in still today and play the entirety of Destiny 1 if I want to. But Destiny 2, like, you've lost the first 2 years of content. I understand the seasonal stories have to go away, but, like, the campaigns are still so important to the story. And now the only way to get them is through lore YouTube channels and whatnot. So I'm really glad that they're adding at least some little mission thing for you to do to catch you up on the story.
story. We are going to have a mission for Forsaken, mission for Beyond Light, as well as a mission for Witch Queen.
I need to play these though, but not a mission for Shadowkeep.
The neat thing about these missions is they're not going to be like one-to-one for how you would experience them in the campaign. You're also going to get additional pieces of narrative fed to you to like identify like, hey, this is why it's important that this happened, and here are the people you met along the way.
A really big one that's really timely
that's
for
cool.
Final Shape is Cade's Last Stand from Forsaken. This is a moment that a lot of players, new and old, are going to come back to Destiny. I think this is just the right time to introduce features that are going to allow those players to jump right in and find people to play with and enjoy this content regardless of their power level.
I mean, that timeline feature has been there for a while, so you've always been able to kind of go back and look, but it's really nice that you get to play through
We're
some
reaching
of
the
that
end of
stuff.
this 10-year journey. What comes next?
The episodes. And the new way we're going to tell stories moving forward.
What's
All right, so
really
what are
important about episodes is that it's a really big shakeup to what we've been doing. Instead of providing
Okay.
4 seasons a year, you are going to get 3 larger episodes. And so
Okay.
the first 3 episodes in this coming year are called Echoes, Revenant, and Heresy.
Okay.
Coming right after the Final Shape. And the theme for the year is going to be all about the consequences and aftermath of the final shape. I think.
So are they still going to do expansion and then 3 episodes? Or are they moving now to just 3 episodes a year that kind of all tell one narrative story?
It's really the cornerstone of the episode model that we're building is the 3-act structure. The acts act as these anchors for us to introduce new weapons, new artifact mods, new activities. There's going to be new missions coming around the core. There'll be new story moments in every single one of these acts. We're actually providing more cinematic styled experiences throughout the final shape year and the episodes with it than any of the seasons we've ever developed before.
These new.
Okay, so it kind of sounds to me, at least, it sounds like episodes are the seasonal model, just without the season pass, and they're dictating still at what speed you move through the story, and they're still, but like, it seemed like their release structure of acts 1, 2, and 3 are still what they do in the seasonal model. It's just now the seasons are maybe a little longer since there's only 3 a year. I don't know.
Stories are actually playable as standalone. Like each episode is something you can experience, whether you've been playing Destiny for 10 years or this is your first one.
You're going to be able to basically enjoy them in any order you want to.
I think the opportunity with this big epic moment is that we get to innovate the game. We get to move the game forward.
It's all about change frequently. It's all about deeper story moments. It's all about more weapons, more loot, more often. And it really provides the team with a platform to go much deeper into the themes and fantasies and story of any individual episode as compared to the seasons you know of today.
I'm so excited to see what the narrative team can do with this kind of new platform of storytelling. Episodes provides this awesome foundation for the future of Destiny.
We're moving into the next stage of Destiny 2. I think some people look at the final shape and they think Destiny 2 is coming to the end. And in many ways, it's the opposite. We're leaning in. We're putting
It's just the beginning.
metal. Episodes provide us a new, innovative way for players to engage with Destiny 2 throughout the year.
Okay. How is it different from seasons, though?
What makes a guardian?
Like, it really just seems like episodes are seasons without the season pass.
Sacrifice.
That's all I'm really understanding
we know
of that.
that we were chosen for a reason. By something greater than ourselves.
The new stuff they drop, the new things that they introduce in each act is just their mid-season patch.
Fires of each new battle. We are forged and sharpened into what we must become for the fight ahead. We are the final line that halts the second collapse.
All of us. Every Titan. Every Warlock. Every Hunter.
What is it the Guardians say? Devotion inspires bravery.
Bravery inspires sacrifice.
Sacrifice leads to death. The line between light and dark is so very thin.
Let's cross it together.
There are things out in the dark that only the dark can overcome. Trust me.
You've heard the stories of the traveler's sacrifice, of darkness descending
I
upon
like
humanity.
I like that they're really pushing that this is the end of a story. Definitely glad for the story to meet its conclusion, that's for sure.
This time.
Question is, who's gonna die next season? Or next year? Probably a lot of people.
It's going to be an exciting year for Guardians. We get to make good on a promise that we made way back in 2014. There was classic rock blasting, fire team racing across our solar system, and at the end, a simple message: become legend. Today, you got a glimpse at how we'll be cementing your legend in this upcoming year. We're going to be heading inside the Traveler, experiencing a destination unlike anything we've ever built before. We'll face the biggest bad we've ever made, and we'll do this all alongside a streamlined progression system, allowing us to easily play with friends in any content in the game. And as the dust settles in the final shape, we're going to continue our legends in Echoes. It's Destiny's first episode in a new phase of storytelling for Guardians with brand new conflicts born from the resolution of the Light and Darkness saga. These first episodes are just the beginning.
Okay.
But if you're chomping at the bit to see how the Light and Darkness saga is going to kick off the future of Destiny 2, we've got a ton of great content for you to jump into today. Going live after this, we've got Season of the Witch with a new story, new weapons, new armor, new activities, and new PvP content, all alongside a series of story catch-up missions, allowing any of your friends to jump into the game and get up to speed on what's happening in this world.
Let's do it.
Then, next week, a brutal reprisal of Crota's End is going to join the ranks of our aspirational content. I can't wait to see you all in the throne world as we learn more about the final shape and how we can stop it.
Sounds great. Another or is this the first trailer again?
Do not be afraid. Bring me your
Eris just seems so creepy now. I love it. They were really just like, how do we take the creepiest character in Destiny and make him or her creepier?
All we've lost. This fight might be our last. So I'm asking you to rise. One last time.
Nice. All right. Well, I don't need to go watch the collector's edition stuff. So, yeah. So that was the. So yeah, that was the showcase. All right. So just some final thoughts from the showcase. The new supers look really cool. I'm excited to do that. I'm a little sad that there's not another darkness subclass, but honestly, we already have 5 elements to try to deal with a 6th and all of that. I don't know that we need it. I really like the feel that they're trying to like finish something. Whereas with Lightfall, it really felt like they wanted to continue the story in another direction, but here it's like, no, this is all coming to a conclusion. And I'm very thankful to have reached that moment in this story. I don't know, I'm confused about episodes. I think they need to talk about that a little more. Episodes really feels just like the seasonal model, just rebranded a different way because everybody was mad at the seasonal model. I don't know. It feels the same, but I'm gonna need them to help describe that to me. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section, and I'll be back with other videos throughout the season. I've got a few more on my to-do list, and yeah, let me know what you think and what you would like to see, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.